Okay, I have been watching a lot of metal lathe videos to get educated so that I can get out of the rank of just ignorant fool. Anyway, this whole topic has to do with that Vevor 7x14 lathe, typically referred to as a cheap Chinese lathe. But I'll tell you, I'm really impressed with it. Once I got things tightened up, and learned that I should have a single point of my tool cutting. It went pretty well. This was started out as a rebar, and all the different gyrations I did trying to get it to machine it. And you'll notice all the pitting where it would dig in and sometimes stop the lathe. Just a mess. On the other hand, if you look right here, this section right here, that's what I was aiming for. This is the last thing I did. And you'll see the bars on the rebar. It was taking it down nicely. It's got a smooth finish. I needed to take it down another, I don't know, 1 millimeter, maybe 2. But anyway, and I'm doing it at a very slow. I'm only doing a 3 mil, 3/1000ths, not a mil, 3/1000ths, sometimes 4/1000ths at a time along here. So that's the result of about, I lost count of the passes, but I'd say about 20. Well, given the fact that this thing is still not straight, and it was machined in different places at different times using different methods, I think I can live with this. Preferably what I would do is try to find some 1/2 inch or 1 inch rebar scrap, because I don't need long pieces. My first project, I believe, is going to do a chest set. That'll be really interesting to. They'll all be cylinders, of course, but different diameters and height based on which piece it is. And then I've got to etch on each one of them a face. And on the top, I'm going to put the letter of whether it's a knight or a queen or pawn, whatever it is, rook. So it can be identified from above. It's not going to be a real. I'm not going to get orders for 1,000 of those, but it's something to do, and it's relatively simple. It's a matter of just turning steel to the desired diameter, then face top and bottom to begin with, but then turn it, and then with the scribe, try to scribe some kind of rudimentary face, picture of a face on it, and then on the top of it, put a letter so that it can be easily spotted without having to try to decipher my version of what a king or queen or knight should look like. But anyway, I'm having a lot of fun. As I said at the beginning of this, my whole purpose was to try to be able to make. I want to use scrap to do my metal art, but it's hard to find bits and pieces that you can turn into something. So being able to build some of the bits and pieces from a common raw material like rebar is beneficial and to some degree a challenge. After I get a little more experience with this, The next thing I've got to do is to buy a milling machine, I think. But we'll see. I've seen a lot of tricks in videos about using a lathe as a quasi machine device, surface machining device. But I expect all of those go way above my skill level. But we'll see. Hey, it can happen. Oh, and thanks for all the comments. You've been very kind. Anybody who's contemplating getting into this, just wear eye protection in case the machine throws something at you. Okay, I want to thank everybody who's given me posted comments about my endeavor with my hobby lathe. Much appreciated. And there's a lot of fine websites out there for the beginner. One I found particularly useful was a lady. Her channel is called Blondie Hacks, and learned a lot from her. Okay, what I'm doing now, I have improved a lot. See if I can get my camera positioned so I can actually see something. So one of the things she pointed out on a recent video, well, not recent, I think it's 2 years old, but what I recently saw from Blondie Hacks had to do with the tools. And you know, whenever you're trying to instruct somebody, you really can't assume they know anything. And she does a good job of covering all the bases. And so I've got all these tools, right, of different shapes, like this one here. Anyway, the point she made, which I wasn't aware of, is that you only want one point touching the steel you're turning. Whereas I was tending to get it around, and this thing doesn't have near the power to cut off that much metal. And also I learned about these are, what I'm using here is carbide brazed to the toolbar, or to the tool. And they're relatively cheap, and I'm pleased with it. But anyway, I'm getting to the point where I get this thing the way I want it. Now what I was trying to do is take a rough piece of rebar and true it up and smooth it up so I can use it for some art or whatever I'm making. So one other thing too, this bar is not straight. So I haven't been able to successfully use any tailstock center because it just won't center up. All right, let me get this thing started. You can see how much it's wobbling.